Throwing shade actually means that you want to insult someone, but you're a coward, so you're insulting them indirectly, kind of like hiding behind words or hiding behind the way you're expressing yourself. Just like on YouTube, figure your brain some new food. Hello people, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time on the channel, a special welcome to you. I ask that you check out the rest of my videos. If you like what you see, give them a thumbs up, leave a comment, but more than anything, I'm asking that you subscribe to the channel. Today I'm gonna be talking about throwing shades at Black Americans because I was recently accused for throwing shade at Black Americans. So here's the deal. Recently I uploaded a video which I did with me and my wife, and we were talking about the Jamaican culture versus the United States of America Black culture, because that's what I was exposed to, that's what I became a part of, and that's what I know the most about when it comes to the United States of America. In other words, I did not grow up in the United States of America in a white community. My community was all Black, or 95% Black. So it was like moving out of Jamaica, moving back to Jamaica overseas with just different climates. That was pretty much it. You know, there was not a lot of white people in Southwest and West Philadelphia. If you see white people, they're usually there to audit you, or they're usually the police. That was pretty much it. Anyway, I'm gonna tackle me throwing shades at Black American for two reasons. Reason one is that my channel is about each one teach one. I'm all about education, I'm all about wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Reason two, it's not the first time I've done videos where people think I'm throwing shade at their nationality. I did a video about a year or two ago that I was talking about Trinidadians. And Trinidadians, some Trinidadians took offense into the thumbnail, not even a video, because to be honest, in my opinion, the video was all about solidarity and we should get along and we're all one people. But the thumbnail, you know, the thumbnail was saying something about why does Trinidadian envy Jamaicans or something like that. I can't quite remember. But that shows me the ignorance of our people, you know, and I'm talking about Black people on a whole. But without getting too much into that, let me just say, if you're new to this channel, then I could understand why you think I throw shade. But if you are not new to the channel, I would be surprised that you even think that I would throw shade at any nationality, including my own. The reason for that is on this channel, I'm a straight talker, I'm a straight shooter. In my daily life, my occupations also include writing, journalism, public speaking. In order to be a writer-stroke journalist, one cannot only have the skill to write. That's just half of the job. The second part, I think, that is truly required to be a writer-stroke journalist, you have to have balls, you have to have courage, you have to be fearless. If you're gonna be afraid in any sense of your work, then you're never gonna write the truth, meaning other people could intimidate your writing. Your writing will be curved based on your fears of how the public will react. Personally, I don't possess those fears. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say, even if I have to say it mean. That is a discipline that I live by, people. So I'll say that again. I say what I mean what I say, even if I have to say it mean. That means I really don't care if your feelings get hurt when I'm spilling my truth. So when I spoke about my experience in the United States of America, I think the only thing that I failed to point out was that the states of the United States of America are like individual countries. So it's like Jamaica, Guyana, Trinidad. So New Yorkers, people from New Jersey, people from Pennsylvania, people from Delaware, people from Maryland, people from Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, what comes after? Georgia, what comes after? New Orleans. Where's New Orleans again? New Orleans. Anyway, the state of New Orleans and Florida. That's most of the East Coast that I just named. What I'm trying to say is each country, each state has their own culture. I forgot to mention that in my video as I was talking about. However, it's not a great disclaimer because I established on this channel that my experience was in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and that's pretty much where my education, where my knowledge of United States was developed and acquired. So most of my conversation when I use the term Black American or my Black American experience, it's pretty much Philadelphia, Pennsylvania I'm talking about. At the same time, my experiences are my experiences, you know, and I've said it on this channel many times before. I'm responsible for what I say and not what you understand from what I'm saying. I can't go around trying to explain to everybody exactly what I mean. I write books for a living. I write quotes for a living. Can you imagine if I have to find the time to explain to everybody what I meant by that quote? It would take me a lifetime. It would wear me out, people. Anyway, for those of you who do not understand the term throwing shade actually means that you want to insult someone, but you're a coward, so you're insulting them indirectly, kind of like hiding behind words or hiding behind the way you're expressing yourself. If you're a long-standing subscriber or viewer of my channel, you know that that is something that I do not do, people. If that was the case, then you can say I've thrown shade at my Jamaican people ever since I've started this channel. Because one of the main reasons I decided to start a channel that talks mainly about Jamaica is because 1, I'm Jamaican. 2, Jamaicans are my people. 3, I know how to deal with them. I know to deal with the most intelligent Jamaican from the most illiterate Jamaicans. Oftentimes, I guess you can call it throwing shade then, because I criticize my people of their ignorance, of their lack of action. I criticize my country's government for their doings and their non-doings. So I could not be in agreement with anyone that accuses me of throwing shade. Here's the thing that makes me find the term throwing shade at Black Americans hilarious. One of my best friends, if you follow my other channel, you realize recently visit me, he's Black American. My eldest son is Black American. He was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I've got so many other associates that are Black Americans. My most embraced entertainment are provided by Black Americans. Anyway, I'm not gonna lecture too much as to what I appreciate from the Black American culture from what I do not appreciate, because then it will seem like I'm trying to justify my last video, and I'm not trying to justify my last video. My last video justified itself, so there is no apology here. I will not apologize to anybody who misunderstands what I said in my last video. Black Americans and Jamaicans, we are different people culturally, and it's what makes us unique, whether you're from the state of Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, California, Arizona. It's what makes us unique, people. There's nothing to apologize there for. If I was born in, say, the Middle East or of some countries of Africa, I am sure that I would believe in Allah instead of Jesus Christ. But I was born in Jamaica and left Jamaica and went to the United States of America, which were mainly two Christian society people. So that's what makes us us. I remember when I first went to the United States of America, my man Nate, that was here not so long ago visiting us, when I told him that we eat pigeons in Jamaica. We cook them. He thought that was bizarre, you know, and I could understand why he thought it was bizarre, because in America at that time, it was not practice for Americans or people in Philadelphia to eat pigeons. I understand that. It doesn't mean that we were worse human beings than Black Americans and they were better than us. It just simply means that we were different people. Before I went to the United States of America, I never had mayonnaise on my sandwich. So when mayonnaise was actually introduced to me, it was not something that I happily took. I was very skeptical of it. I was just like, I'm kind of used to my sandwich with either butter on it or just give me some cheese. It doesn't mean it didn't exist in Jamaica. It's just that where I'm coming from in Jamaica in the 80s, it wasn't a prevalent thing. It wasn't something that you see every day. McDonald's wasn't in Jamaica then. Burger King wasn't in Jamaica then. When I went to the United States of America, people, the southern state of the United States didn't even have rappers. The closest thing they had to rappers came in the late 80s, which was Left Eye from the group TLC and Da Brat. That was the only two rappers that I was aware of. Moving on 25 years later, 30 years later, down south seemed to become the rap capital. So the reason why I decided to throw that in there is to give you guys a perspective of my United States of America. You understand what I mean? So there were the Two Live Crew. They were from Florida. They were rappers. But outside of that, people, what I'm trying to say, up north, Philadelphia, I have people like Kwame, Will Smith, and a lot of other Philadelphia and New Jersey rappers started to capitalize the market. However, in the United States of America, New York was like Kingston of Jamaica. New York was where all the stars came from. So that was my experience of the United States of America, people. Once again, in the attempt to teach my black people to be wise, to be educated, to be smart, and to be submissive to information, I decided to come on my channel and speak my truth again, people. Once again, my experiences are my experiences. If you go to Jamaica and you have a bad experience, you can describe your bad experience as it is. Not because it's probably been a unique case where that is only your experience and another 1,000 people didn't experience it, doesn't mean that it's not your truth. People have good and bad to say about Jamaicans. I have good and bad to say about Jamaicans. Does not make it a lie. It is what it is. I have good and bad to say about my Black American experience. I have good and bad to say about my experience in the United States in general. Does not make it a lie. It is what it is, or it is what it was back then. My experiences are my experiences, people, and we just have to accept our differences. The thing that I despise about our black people in general, if I put a video on my channel that's talking about politics or my opinion of who I think should get jobs and who I think shouldn't get jobs, my views are like this and my commentary are like this. If I want to get a lot of views, all I have to do is put something like black people versus white people, or Jamaicans versus Trinidadians, or you know, what I'm trying to say is, if the topic is feudy, if the topic is combative, you guys are all over it. And in my opinion, that's just the negative nature of human being. That just shows the truth of us, that we find conflict entertaining. I put Jamaican culture versus the United States of American culture, and people who usually just hovers over my channel and never have anything to say, all of a sudden have something to say. And what y'all have to say, I see it as an insightfulness of trying to create a feud where there is no feud. Maybe in the future, depends on where this goes, I will get all my Black Americans associated to actually do a little video and say what they think, not of me personally, or not of my content, but what they think of Jamaicans, you know, because I am sure that all the friends that I have in the United States of America that are black have their views of Jamaican, or had their views of Jamaicans. Most of us are older and all grown up now, so our views kind of like straighten out. But I don't want them to tell of their views today. I want them to tell of their views from back in the day. So once again, people, on my channel, I do not hold my tongue for anybody, especially when it comes to my Jamaican people. If I have a disclaimer, I usually announce it in my video. If you don't hear a disclaimer, then I'm just giving it to you raw, and that is my truth, and I want you to criticize me on that truth. Well, I hope that this clears the air. And once again, if you're a Black American and you have something to say, feel free to say it, because on this channel, I'm all about each one, teach one. So if you have something that you think you can educate me on, you do that. Because when I sit in front of my camera, I share knowledge. And I believe that open up eyes and open up ears and open up minds to those who might have not seen things clearly. That's pretty much my whole purpose of here, people. I'm not on YouTube trying to crave views. If I was on YouTube trying to crave views, I would pretty much sell my soul and go for topics that I know that this is what people will click on. This is what people wants to hear. The gossip, the conflict, the combativeness. I'm not here for that. I'm all about sharing knowledge. But before I go, let me big up some people.
Big up yourself to the maximum.
First and foremost, let me big up D. Diane, Evelyn D. Happy 67. And last but not least, I want to big up Michelle White.
Big up yourself to the maximum.
Okay, people, that's pretty much all I have to say about this video. Let me know what's going on in your area amid the pandemic. As you know, on my channel, I accept thumbs up, I accept thumbs down, I accept agreement, and I accept disagreement. Because what? Each one teach one, people. Until next time, peace.